Hey guys, this is Becky Mater, and this is my presentation on the case study for EDL 854, Educational Finance. This is the case of the missing Booster Club funds. Just a brief summary. So following a middle school basketball game, the principal was following his regular routine. He checked the concessions. They were adding up just right, and then he checked the proceeds from the ticket sales with the ticket report, and the proceeds did not balance out with the amount of tickets sold. They were $50 short that night. So category 1 is the problem identification and analysis. Three things that we know. The school does use pre-numbered tickets for the events. There were 4 volunteers working that night, 2 handling the concessions and 2 working the gate fees, handling admission. And we know that the ticket proceeds came up $50 short. There was a lot of information given in the case study in addition to that, and I really tried to keep it simple and avoid maybe bringing in information that we weren't certain of, where we might have been making assumptions. So I kept it simple with what we know with those 3 facts in particular. What we need to know is why the proceeds were $50 short. We need to know who was volunteering that night. We do know for sure the one parent mentioned with the daughter who's a cheerleader, but we don't know who the other parents were that night. And then we also need to know what the reporting procedures are, who to report to, and how to go about dealing with it when things don't add up the way that we would expect. So the overall problem, the currency in the bank bag, it does not correlate with the number of tickets sold according to the ticket accounting sheet. So we are going to investigate that further. So category 2 would be my proposed plan of action. I've listed some steps there. First of all, I think that the principal should recount that money and double check the accounting sheet. Sometimes when you're overwhelmed or you're in a hurry, things can happen and there may be some other explanation for the shortfall. Talk to the parent volunteers who were working that night, maybe any other parents who volunteer on other occasions or may have been present in the vicinity that evening. And then investigate and synthesize all the information that's gathered. Really consider all factors, listen well, pay attention to the details, that sort of thing. The strategies that I would implement, first of all, reviewing those internal controls and make sure that proper training is available to the parents who are volunteering. Then, very important to maintain an open and unbiased mindset. There's a lot of background information given in the case study that may or may not be tied to the outcome of what happened. And then consider only the facts and really communicate openly, honestly, consistently with all stakeholders and all parties involved. Category 3, resolving those issues, and of course based on promoting the success of all students. So what is best for the students? We need to continue to maintain the positive relationships with the community and the families. That is strong and in place. The principal is well respected, he's well liked, and that needs to continue. We need to show gratitude for the parental involvement and the support, and not take that for granted. Then follow those strong internal control procedures with integrity every time, and then make those spending decisions that will impact and benefit all students. 3 examples from this particular case. The principal does have a strong rapport with parents, like I mentioned. There is strong parental involvement within the school, and he needs the parents to work these events and help assume those responsibilities. He does make decisions with the best interest of all students in mind, and he stuck strong to that even when he was pressured by this particular parent who wanted the PTA funds to go towards her daughter's opportunity with cheer. Category 4, debriefing this problem. A few things that I was thinking is, wow, there is a lot of information and there are a lot of assumptions that could be made in this particular case. There are also a lot of external factors. Running through my mind were any number of things that possibly could have happened given this scenario. And then how to address this situation to maintain the positive relationships without maybe causing any animosity or making prejudgments or interfering with the positive relationships that this principal has with the parents and the community. I was feeling really uncomfortable because there are so many unknowns and so many possible scenarios I wanted to know more facts, and I wanted to really understand what may have happened in this case. I was also feeling like sometimes things aren't what they seem. I wonder sometimes if I think about things differently than most people, and I had a lot of things running through my mind that might not have been um, the first things that people might think of. So the things that I was valuing would be the parental involvement. The support for the athletics, I think is great that there was a capacity crowd at this sporting event. And then valuing internal controls and supports. And I think that that's really important and something that I would appreciate as an administrator if those things were in place and operating successfully. So things we need to continue to investigate. We need to get more information from the parents who are working. It could be a simple problem, a misunderstanding or a small miscalculation or maybe some misleading information. We need to investigate with an open mind and continue to be professional, have integrity throughout, always coming back to what is best for our students. Reflecting on Standard 8, the building administrator, they must promote the academic success and the personal well-being of every student. So they need to be efficient managers in their school and district and promote social and academic learning. So I was thinking that the principal must have a strong knowledge and an understanding of those internal controls and procedures. They need to ask questions, they need to investigate, they need to be sure that they are solid when it comes to those procedures and those policies that are in place. Both for the day-to-day fiscal operations and then also with how to report it when an inconsistency is noticed. So the principal trusted his volunteers and followed consistent procedures in this case. The principal valued the involvement of the stakeholders and he had no concerns. He was trusting them and relying on them. The principal should review and improve upon the organizational systems and procedures, including monitoring, training, and supervision. So there may be some ideas or some ways that he can improve that when he is overcome with so many other responsibilities that he's unable to supervise effectively. Component 1, the effective and efficient management of the school and district. First of all, learn and follow those policies and the procedures. Operate with transparency, integrity at all times. Suggest the modifications or improvements if needed. Capitalize on the district finance office as a resource. And I think really importantly, always rely on a mentor or ask someone who's been there. This principal was a 4-year principal, so I'm sure that there was someone else who's had some experience that he could learn from. And then again, always focusing on what's best for the students. Component 2, again, integrity comes up with modeling that for our students, supporting the school policies and practices, focusing on the academic and social success for each student. And as I was thinking about this, I was in the back of my mind were these standards, and so I went ahead and put them there because I just think that they fit so perfectly in this particular case. Creating that infrastructure that helps monitor and ensure the equitable practices, and then developing the resiliency to uphold the core values, especially in the face of adversity. This is not a comfortable situation when the funds go missing, but the principal has got to deal with it and address it for the good of all students. And component 3, promoting the academic learning. Again, there were standards that seemed to just fit and align perfectly with this. So again, working with community members and families, this principal built those relationships and he had them strong and in place. And I think that's very important. Promoting the trust, equity, fairness, and respect, and then monitoring those programs to provide personalized learning opportunities. And then again, maintaining a student-centered focus, make decisions that will benefit all of our students. And here are my sources. I actually spoke with a bookkeeper at our middle school today, and I was talking with her about our procedures, and so I was talking with her a little bit about this case, so I did include her as a source in this particular case, and then of course the things that I learned from the handbook. So that is my case study, and thank you for watching.